Welcome back to the Let Go and Let God pod.
I'm Ashley.
And I'm Heaven.
And we are back. We didn't die. We are back.
We are back. We just went on a little break for a little bit.
Yeah.
With all the holidays and everything, it was a little chaotic, but we are back and
Yeah.
we're ready to be disciples for Jesus.
Shout out to, I know our, number one fan,
Woohoo!
Benjamin James.
Benjamin James, thanks
he,
for this amazing topic.
He sent in this topic, so we're finally going to actually do this episode, and it's called Doubt in the Storm of Life. So, yeah, let's get into it. Can you share a season in your life when you struggled with doubt or felt distant from God? What triggered that doubt?
I have so many experiences. I feel like every year it's a difficulty and I struggle with doubt. But I think the most doubt I had was when I lost my grandma. I definitely was like, Jesus, why are you doing this? Yeah. I was very angry. When I lost my great grandma, I feel like I did have a lot of doubt in God. I'm like, why are you doing this? Why are you hurting my family? The pain I saw my grandma go through, especially losing her mom, I didn't believe that God was there. I feel like I struggled a little bit, especially when she passed. I knew God was there. I knew about him, but I just struggled. I'm like, God, why are you doing this? But now that I opened my eyes and I know that, now that I'm a believer and I know that, God got me through that season, I guess. But I feel like when you go through a loved one and you lose somebody, you doubt, sometimes it's hard. I'm human, and I try not to question what God does at times, but sometimes when it's it's hard. It hits your heart, How do you relate to that question?
When I was first going through all my health issues, I didn't really know what was wrong, and I was getting all this pain. I was like, oh, I would just pray and cry out to God every night, because that's when my pain would be the most, and I would listen to worship music. It was the hardest thing I ever went through in my life, and I was always a Christian, and not always, but since I was 7, and that's a good chunk of your life, whatever. But up until that point when I was crying out to God, take this away, I've went through some hard things, but I don't know, this was the one thing I'm God's not answering, not one thing, but it was one of the bigger things. I'm God's not, why isn't he taking this away, and in my mind, healing always had to be immediate, and if it wasn't, I'm then I guess it just doesn't work, or it doesn't work for me. Maybe he heals others, but he doesn't heal me. And so eventually, I was in so much pain. I went to the hospital. It turned out my appendix had ruptured, and so I didn't know it then, but apparently you could die from that. But really, really bad. The doctor said it was one of the worst he seen. Not the worst, but one of the worst he had seen. I didn't realize it was that bad. So, after that, I thought things were going to get better, right? Recover, whatever. And then it didn't. I had to go back in the hospital because I got infection after that, because, you're just more prone to that after you have surgery. So it's just, so after that, and then it didn't get better after that. And then I had to go back in the hospital, and then they were well, we want to know why your health issues, what caused your appendix to rupture. Well, they diagnosed me with Crohn's, and then from there, it was just a whole up and down roller coaster and stuff. And yeah, so it's this, but I can say now, if I could go back and tell Ashley then, just because God is not healing you immediately doesn't mean he doesn't heal. You could trust him. I think that's why, especially last year, my word was trust. I had to rebuild my trust a lot in ways that I hadn't before. And now I'm I can believe for big things, and that's okay. I can, even if I don't see him right now, I can trust that God is in right now, and he's also in the future, So, amen. But also, if you read more in the Bible, not just some of the stories, but some of those people did suffer with lifelong things. So just know it's not. But
yet they still believe.
They still believe. So yeah, I think that's just one of my major seasons of doubt. What did doubt feel like for you emotionally, spiritually, or even physically?
Whew. Man, there's so many things I could go with doubt. Like, I think me, since I was a believer at the time, like when I was, like at the time when my family, went through that big pass away. I think sadness and maybe even like angry, like like I said, I was angry, like why did you do this, God? Like you want to scream and yell like, God, why? But I didn't know he had something, like maybe he had something bigger planned.
Yeah.
And he just, needed them, and you can feel anger, sadness during doubt. Like, I don't think doubt makes you feel any good.
I felt numbness. That was my emotion I felt. Nice. Yeah. But yeah.
I feel anger.
Yeah, anger, sadness.
It just depends the scenario,
Maybe even depressed. Like,
yeah,
you just feel like no way out. Yeah.
You didn't even think about that.
Yeah, I felt like that too.
Oh, that's crazy.
Well, yeah, I kind of answered that too. So, okay, we'll go to number 3. Was there a moment when you realized I'm really wrestling with God right now? What brought that realization?
Got one on this one.
Okay, yeah.
So actually recently, I was actually recently going through a lot emotionally. Like, I felt depressed in bed. Yeah. I was just like, what? I had to come to the realization actually yesterday, last night. Crazy. We're talking about this subject, and it's like last night I came to the realization that I am lacking God. Like, I was lacking God. I think if I would have just filled my emptiness and my sadness with like losing my job, like, not having a job and going through all that, like, trusting that he's there even through the doubt, like, even when I'm like, God, why are you doing this? Like, I don't understand, like, what did I do? Like, but it's not what you do. It's like God does things for you to learn from them. So it's just, he does. I just learned that yesterday. Like, I realized that I need to lean more into my Bible a little bit more. And
I think when I came to the realization was when, so I went through all those, like, the first time going through all that, and I was diagnosed with Crohn's, like, that January, and then that September I went to TBI, so, like, short period of time. Anyways, during that time, I was, like, I went into the belief of, like, I do believe God can heal, I just don't think he can heal me, like, that's how I felt. Which is very sad, like, thinking about it now. But so when I was there, and when you're at Bible school, like, you're spending a lot of time with God, like, you're like kind of in this bubble, but in a good way. Like, you're just out from the world, you're just focusing, locking in on God. So during that time, like, I just spent devotionals, and I felt like he would heal piece by piece of me. And then I realized that I was like, wait, I have this all wrong, but, like, I don't know, it was just hard. It wasn't like, oh yeah, I do have it wrong, but okay, now I can go from here. It was kind of like, I feel like I need this healing from this, because I don't know, I just, like, I feel disappointed from you, in all honesty. I feel disappointed. Not that in reality he didn't actually disappoint, it was my expectations that I set, and so I set myself up to be disappointed. But yeah, so I think that was my realization for sure.
That's a good one. The next question that I'm going to ask you is, which biblical examples of doubt resonate most with you? Thomas, Elijah, David, or others, and why?
Okay, I'm gonna read my notes since I wrote by, like, person. Okay, so I put Job because he just, I mean, if you read his story, it's like he went through everything, lost everything.
Yeah.
His friends are trying to comfort him, but their view is like, well, you must have did something wrong because God took this all away from you, or you must have sinned. He did not sin. He was living a godly life, and so obviously he's wrestling, like, I'm a good person, why am I going through this? And sometimes you can still obviously go through bad things even if you're a good person. But so I just really resonate with him. Let's see. I'm going to read the verse. It says in verse 1, I was just making sure I had the right one. Do you not know what mountain goats give birth, and have you watched the deer labor? Can you count the months they are pregnant, so you can know the time they give birth? So I know that might sound random and stuff, but God he knows each and every animal. He knows when they're going to eat, when they're going to give birth, how the cycle of life goes. Like he literally takes care of every single animal, every bug, that's crazy to think about, first of all. And
that is crazy to think about.
God never gave him an answer of why he suffered, but he comforted him in saying, basically, when in his doubt, basically Job was like, just take me out now, I want to die, I wish I was never born. That's how bad it had gotten. And I'm sure some people have been out there. I'll be honest, in my health issues, not that I was suicidal, but I was like, I don't want to live this life anymore, I don't like this, I don't want to be here.
I remember when I was a teenager, I've been there too.
Yeah, I was like, sometimes life is dark and you're like, I don't want to be here no more. So Job was feeling that way, and basically God just gives him this long explanation of how he created things, and how these amazing animals and beasts and really crazy creatures he's created. And I'm like, it just gives a bigger picture to, yes, he knows you're suffering, but he can see the bigger picture, kind of like the puzzle thing.
Yes.
He can see all the pieces. I'm not gonna take that reference, but yeah, shout out to Sam.
Yeah,
Sam. If you watch this, I listened to your voice memo and it was really amazing.
I shared it with her.
Yes. So yeah, I hope that it's a decent explanation. But I look up to Job, because even when no one was supporting him, his friends were trying, but they just didn't comprehend. I mean, even Job was like, I don't understand this. God, what are you doing? But I'm still going to be faithful and go with you. You are my God. But at the same time, can't you just take me? You've taken everything away. My health's bad. I don't have anyone. I'm literally
right.
There's nothing. And God's even when all that's happening, God, like I said, God can see the big picture. So that would be my person.
He knows every count of hair in your body you have.
Yes.
He knows everything.
I love that verse, and I've said it here before. How precious are your thoughts about me? They outnumber the grains of sand. I'm like, that's crazy. Good. That's crazy. If you don't feel valued or worth, that verse alone will, I feel help you. Okay, so the next question says, do you think doubt comes from pain, fear, unmet expectations, or spiritual attack?
Everything.
I would say I agree too.
I agree.
Especially the unmet expectations for me personally. But yeah.
I think it's pain. He's still there during the depression, during the sadness, during, anything. I mean, throughout life you go through so many things, you're gonna let's say, tomorrow you don't know what happens tomorrow, but God knows, right?
Yeah.
He's there.
He is.
Every second. Yeah. And even during that doubt, he's there.
Yeah.
So if you don't see him, guys, he's there.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Yeah.
He's with you. He lays beside you. He holds you when you need somebody.
He does.
He's with you during that doubt.
He was there when I was in the hospital all those multiple times, whatever.
He was holding her.
Yeah, he was there. Even
and he's still holding her.
Yeah, even if I wasn't recognizing it, even if you might not see it, he's there. I'm doesn't mean he never left. He was still there. Because, the verse in Psalms 23, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Not saying you're never going to walk. No, when I walk through the valley of the shadow of death.
I didn't say you weren't going to walk
evil.
through it, but...
He leads me beside still waters. He's leading you through this journey of life, that's crazy. Like, we live in a fallen world because we're sinful, and but God's still been gracious to lead us through it. Even he wasn't like when he kicked Adam and Eve out of the garden, was it because he just wanted nothing to do with them? But he's like, no, this is the consequence to sin, because there's going to be consequences. But throughout this whole Bible is showing, God took me here to there, God through the ages. Like, that's what the whole Bible's about, is God leading his people. So that's how you know God's going to lead us and everyone, because that's what this whole story is about.
Amen, sister. Man, this is getting me
out. I know, like,
woo, somebody.
Also, for when during that question, examples in the Bible, I put Jesus in the garden. When I watched The Chosen the last season, he's in the garden, and just seeing that play out, the whole scene play out. I'm not going to give spoilers because I know you're not going to.
No spoilers. But I haven't got there yet.
But just seeing it play out, I'm like, wow. I never really thought of it as an unanswered prayer, but it was an answered prayer at the same time, because in the Bible it says, "Father, if you are willing to take this cup from me, nevertheless, not my will, but your will be done." And an angel from heaven appeared to him, strengthening him. So, again, he didn't answer Jesus's prayer the way he wanted, but he still answered the prayer. So I think doubt is also looking at answered prayers a different way. Like, answered prayers is not the way I said it. It's not the way Ashley has her life designed. No, it's the way God has it designed. And obviously, if Jesus had died on the cross, I don't know even where we would be, if we'd be alive. Well, I don't know even what that would look like, you know? Because he needed to come down. It was, like, so corrupt. Like, there needed to be that so we could be in his presence. But, so yeah, he prays out. He's like, take this cup from me, because obviously he knew what was to come, and he knew it was going to be very, very hard. But God didn't say, you know what, you're fine, it's okay, whatever. But no, he also didn't leave him alone either. God doesn't just never comfort us if we're in the midst of our pain, when we're crying out to him. He sent an angel to comfort him. So I feel like that's a very important thing to keep in mind. Like, just if God doesn't take the pain away immediately, doesn't mean that you're going to sit there in the pain with no one to comfort you, no one to, like, hold your hand through it. And I feel like I needed that back when I was going through all those health issues. I needed to know, hey, like, God,
you're being held now.
You're being held. Like, God answers prayers in so many ways. Healing comes in so many ways. Sometimes it comes sudden, sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes your answered prayers, it might look different than how it was supposed to, you thought it was supposed to go. But so that's a big one. And then also Mary and Martha waiting for Jesus to come for Lazarus. When he died, he was asleep, as it says in the Bible. John 11:5-6. Now, Jesus loved Martha, his sister, and Lazarus. So when he heard that he was sick, he stayed 2 more days in the place where he was, which it sounds crazy. It's like, okay, your best friend's sick, why are you staying when you knew, like, he was sick, But it's like, okay, that's a little weird. But then we're gonna skip down to verse 20 and 21. And it says, as soon as Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went to meet him, but Mary remained seated in the house. Then Martha said to Jesus, Lord, if you had been there, my brother wouldn't have died. So, obviously, I feel like Martha's so real for that, because, like, why weren't you there? Like, I sent word, like, it just doesn't make sense. Why didn't you come? Like, I know you can heal him. Why didn't you come? So she's having faith, obviously. So her faith hasn't been completely taken away from her. But she's still, like, in that moment she's doubting him, like, well, if that's not, you're not good if you're not, like you're supposed to be a good God, like, why aren't you in there when I really needed you? And so I feel like that's a good example too, because yes, Jesus did another example. Jesus answered their prayer, but not in the way they wanted it to, or they thought it was going to be, but he still answered the prayer. He brought Lazarus back to life, and that's one of the most amazing stories in the Bible. But it's like, it's hard to trust the process when you don't see the picture.
Right.
But yeah, that's another one I really...
It's like you don't see what God's doing, and he's doing things, You might not have the answer today. You might not have it tomorrow. But who knows? He might give it to you the next day.
Yes.
Or the next day.
So
a week from now. He doesn't know.
Exactly.
He knows your life,
And the last verse I had was James 1:2.
It says, "Dear brothers and sisters, when troubles of any kind come your way, consider it an opportunity for great joy. For you know that when your faith is tested, your endurance has a chance to grow. So let it grow, for when your endurance is fully developed, you will be perfect and complete, needing nothing."
That's amazing.
Whew!
Yeah. If you need encouragement, read that verse. Just keep reading it over yourself, because...
Put it on your mirror.
Yeah.
Just a positive note right there.
That's awesome.
For me, this verse is like, saying like, in doubt, you can be tested, right? Like, you're sad. You want to cry, or you just feel like, God, you're not here right now, and I just feel like everything else, like, in my life is going downhill, and I don't know what to do, and you just feel like he's not there.
Yeah.
He's there through it all, He's fighting with you, through the pain, through the hurt, through the depression, through the, through sickness, through, everything. He's your father. Like, he loves you, and he's there with you during those times when it's like, I don't know what else to do. I don't know what else to do, God. I don't know what else to do. But he says, look, child, I'm here. And
that's so good.
Whew, I could like already feel like God's like, I'm here. I'm holding you, child.
Yeah.
I got you, If nobody in this world got you, he does.
That's true. I always love that he's so reliable, because I'm like, when everything is so unsure, because sometimes you think, oh, things are so, like, I can always count on this, but then, one day it just doesn't. It's like everything I thought that was reliable is not reliable anymore, or, but the one thing that has been true in my life has been Jesus, and he's been reliable every single day of my life, even when I've seen it and haven't seen it, because I've been blinded by my own, like, selfishness, own flesh,
own flesh. We're human.
Exactly. It's good.
The father instantly cried out, "I do believe, but help me overcome my unbelief."
That's one I come back to as well.
Yeah, in doubt you lose belief in God.
Yeah.
Or there's times where you do believe, but you don't feel like he's there,
Yeah.
And that's crazy, I've been there,
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm getting out of that season right now, actually, of like feeling God's not there.
Yeah.
But he actually is.
He is.
He's been holding me this whole time. This whole time that I've been going through this craziness of emotions in my life.
Yeah.
He's there. He's holding me. He's like, child, I got you.
Yeah.
Just believe in me. I'm right here. I'm here to hold your hand. Here to hold your hand.
Yeah.
Here to hold your hand.
The last thing I wanted to say about this verse that you pulled up is like, it's okay to go in all of this we're talking about. It's okay to go to God with your big emotions. Big emotions might sound like very like,
hey, that's when he wants you
new agey, but
vulnerable.
Like, or like overstep.
When you're vulnerable.
But yeah, like going to God with like anger, with sadness, with all these like really emotions you feel like you can't go to God with, and one of them might be what you're feeling is unbelief. You haven't, even if you feel like you're quitting on God or not, God wants to take that. Like, it's okay to go with him and be like, hey, help me with my unbelief. Like, I want to be here. I want to do this, but I need your help. I don't know how to do this. because this is something I've never gone through before, but help me go through this. I think just being honest with God, because he already knows what you're thinking. He just wants you to be honest with him. Just like, tell him. Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, so I don't know. This episode has been really good. I feel very passionate about this subject.
Me too.
And
if you have any questions, put questions in the comments.
yeah.
Any questions about what Bible verses we read today?
Yes.
Let us know, and we will.
We're
give
gonna
you all
try
the
to put them on the screen like we usually do, but if not, yeah, feel free to DM us. Also, prayer requests, leave them in DM us if you don't want it in the comments, or you can put it in the comments. Yeah, I guess we're gonna
wrap it up.
Yeah. God, thank you for another day, and thank you that we got to talk about this amazing topic. Thank you for giving us the words, the verses, and let this honor you. Lord, I pray for the person who is on the other end of the screen, that let this be a time of giving this up to you, Lord. We're gonna mentally just create this altar here, and we're leaving it at your feet. I pray, help us with our unbelief. We're giving you the doubt, and we're gonna pick up your trust, your peace, your love, your joy instead, because you say my yoke is easy and to bear, which means that we don't have to carry all this like baggage of like our fears or whatever is to come, or anger or sadness, but you can carry it, and instead all you give us is peace and joy, all these emotions and feelings, all the things that is good to feel. We don't have to carry the hard things. You can take care of it for us, so thank you. So I pray right now, if anyone's feeling that way, just repeat after me and say, Jesus, I give up my doubt.
I give up my doubt.
Replace it with your peace.
Replace it with your peace.
In Jesus' name.
In Jesus' name.
Amen.
Amen.
And I know everyone's going to walk free because of that, because you're not bound to that unbelief, that doubt, and you can walk.
You no longer have that doubt.
Yeah, you can walk in joy in this storm and season in life.
Whatever
you
storm
really
it is.
shouldn't be, but you can. You can.
You're going to walk with Jesus.
Yeah. What?
Thanks for watching!